Have you ever wondered who the most loved and hated current boxers at the moment are? There are some real crowd favorites out there, but there are others who mostly rub us the wrong way. We decided to do our best to distinguish the most loved from the most hated, definitely taking fan loyalty into account. The most hated and loved boxers list contains mostly active or recently retired fighters. We also use the information available to us on each fighter and may not always know what they get up to in private, unless you catch them. We hope you like what we came up with. If not, leave a comment and let us know. We believe we did a good job of at least getting close to the best list. Let's get started. Most hated: Billy Joe Saunders. In 2018, the former WBO champion was forced to face the consequences after tapes were unearthed showing him mocking a female pedestrian and inciting a drug addict to punch someone for 100 pounds. For both incidents, the British Boxing Board of Control fined him 100,000 pounds. Furthermore, prior to a scheduled fight with Demetrius Andrade, a fight that was widely considered to be defining for him, Saunders failed a drug test for the stimulant oxylifrine. Shortly after, he was stripped of his WBO title. Since then, he has received little sympathy, which is natural. He has apologized for the video incidents and stated that he will work hard to restore the position he has had since defeating Andy Lee in 2015. Most loved: Joe Joyce. The WBA Continental Heavyweight Champion, 33, has a quiet demeanor. It's difficult not to root for someone who appears to be on a fast track to world title triumph. Joyce has a long amateur career behind him, which many believe will help him rise through the ranks. Joe is a gentleman who speaks gently and is a man of few words, but don't be fooled by it. He has a lot of talent and his punches seem to pack a punch, as he already has stopped all of his 8 opponents. Joyce graduated with upper second class honors from Middlesex University in 2009 with a BSc in Fine Arts. Most hated: Amir Khan. Let's be clear, the amateur silver medalist and former light welterweight champion is mostly disliked, at least in the United Kingdom, because of his Islamic origin. But there's another side to all of this, and that's Khan's proclivity for rubbing people the wrong way when he speaks to the press. It's simple to blame this on newspapers, internet news websites, and other sources misreporting what he says. However, it occurs far too frequently for that rationale to be valid. Khan should consider enhancing this aspect of his game. On the other hand, many fans view the Bolton boxer as a trash fighter merely because he has demonstrated that he has good punch resistance. Evidence of his ambition to battle the greatest, as well as what he has previously accomplished, is frequently discounted. Most loved: Anthony Joshua. The multi-title heavyweight champion, who is sponsored by Matchroom's Eddie Hearn, has earned a reputation as a people's champion. When his soon-to-be adversary, Jarrell Miller, shoved him at their recent news conference, he may have astonished the public. Joshua retaliated with a scathing remark. The Londoner, on the other hand, is a kind and laid-back persona. He lets his fists do all the talking, which is what really matters. Joshua remarks on his positive relationship with veteran promoter Eddie Hearn in 2020, claiming that he and Eddie will always have a fantastic friendship. Hearn has promoted Joshua since his professional debut in 2013. Most hated: Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, the current WBC heavyweight champion, should think about his phrases a little more carefully when he's in the spotlight, just like Amir Khan. He declared in 2017 that he wanted a body on my record. He's also written about how he would have defeated legends like Mike Tyson, George Foreman, and Lennox Lewis in the past. When it comes to gaining supporters, the last thing he should be doing is trashing idols who are likely beloved by the majority of sports fans. And then there's Anthony Joshua's whole saga. To be fair, some of the scorn he's received for this is undeserved, but wanting 50-50 when he hasn't sold nearly as many PPVs or had nearly as many live audiences as the Brit isn't ideal for his image. Finally, except the latest Tyson Fury fight, who has he defeated that's noteworthy? Keep in mind that he has been the WBC champion for almost 4 years. Most loved: Gennady Golovkin. Gennady Golovkin has been rather silent since his September 2018 loss to Saul Alvarez. His next move is still a work in progress, we think. Whatever happens after that, almost everyone will tell you that Kazakhstan's warriors are as humble as they come. Golovkin, who is always smiling, is what many people wish Floyd Mayweather was. Golovkin enjoys spending time with his family and playing games with his son. He revealed in an interview with Kazakh media that he was constantly approached in the United States by ad and film producers who urged him to make guest appearances, co-star in movies, and feature in other media. Despite describing himself as a media-friendly individual, he continued, "I don't want to be in movies or on magazine covers. I enjoy boxing and do not wish to deviate from it. For the time being, my sporting career is more essential to me." Most hated, Saul Alvarez. The Mexican middleweight champion failed a clenbuterol drug test in the early part of last year. He was suspended for 6 months. Alvarez had previously been chastised, albeit unfairly, for the way his first bout with Gennady Golovkin went down. With a decision to call it a draw after it appeared that Golovkin had won by at least a couple rounds, fans already believed he was one of boxing's most well-protected warriors. The clenbuterol scandal, on the other hand, did a lot of damage to his reputation. On the other hand, he did manage to overcome his Kazakhstan opponent in a rematch in September, as well as move up to super middleweight to fight England's Rocky Field for the WBA title. Most loved? Manny Pacquiao. Because the popularity of Pac-Man is still growing, any attempt to assess it at this time can only provide a snapshot. He is one of the sport's top 2 pay-per-view earners. Pacquiao is so well liked in his native Philippines that he was voted to Congress despite having no genuine qualifications for the position and being unable to serve more than part-time while continuing to train to be the world's best pound-for-pound boxer. In the United States, Pacquiao is the most popular active boxer. His magnetic demeanor and proclivity for knocking out much larger opponents drew hordes of new followers to the sport who had previously been uninterested. In boxing, the Filipino legend is nearing the conclusion of his career. Manny Pacquiao, now 43, and with his legacy well established, has avoided letting all of his successes go to his head. For his countrymen in the Philippines, he is a symbol of hope. Not bad for a man who spent a significant portion of his youth malnourished and living in poverty. Most hated? Guillermo Rosendo. The reason for Guillermo Rosendo's dislike isn't nearly as serious as some of the other reasons given in this article for various fighters. He was once regarded as one of the best boxers of his generation. To some extent, he still is. Everyone is frustrated by the Cuban's lack of urgency in his approach, as he only does enough to get the job done. His inaction has harmed him as well. In the last 4 years, Rosendo has only fought 5 times. Given his age, 38, it appears that he has squandered a major potential to create something truly memorable for people to remember him by, especially given how appealing an amateur career he had. Most loved? Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, sometimes known as the Gypsy King, was not highly anticipated when he initially entered the professional game. Fury was well known for his propensity of impromptu singing in the boxing ring after matches and during promotional events. Fury made an appearance on British singer-songwriter Robbie Williams' studio album, The Christmas Present, in 2019, as a guest vocalist for the song Bad Sharon. It is largely owing to this that he has a background as a wanderer. With his crafty performance against Vladimir Klitschko in 2015, and more recently with his performance against Deontay Wilder, he has quietly gained the public's appreciation. He also helped to improve his reputation by donating all of his purse from the Wilder fight to the poor. Although Fury has promised to tone down his showmanship, he's still recognized for his vivacious personality, with promoter Bob Arum claiming that he hasn't seen a fighter with so much charm since Muhammad Ali. Due to his open and honest conversation about his mental health difficulties, since his comeback to the ring and outstanding performance against Wilder, Fury has been called the People's Champion. He is currently an ambassador for the Frank Bruno Foundation, the mental health organization founded by former British world champion Frank Bruno. Which boxer do you love to hate the most? Which boxer do you love, and do you think we left anybody out? How does one measure the way we love or hate boxers in a sport where the aim is to knock someone unconscious? Which boxer is the most beloved of all time?